SPY calls, as well as SPX calls that kind of went wild. So that's what we were watching, right? So these would be the levels, right? So here you have a nice break. So I would say this is your April 1st. So it had a little bit of, I guess, pre-market high here at 450, whatever that one level was. 450, 457. So if you're going to take this break right here, which would happen about 450, 394, you have about 60 cents to play that. So it's better if you wait, for the break of this and then a retest and then go higher to about 456.9, which is your VPOC, and that's going to be a strong magnet to go higher. In terms of the lower side, obviously we have the 444. Let's see, go to 30 minutes. We'll remove that guy because we don't have the. So here's one POC here, 444.64, and that comes from March 18th. I don't think there's many VPOCs left on SPY below. I think there's one. Okay, so now if you look at it, these are the levels that you want to play on SPY, right? So if we dip tomorrow, let's say below 452.71, you have 45.215 here, and then if we break 452, there's a strong opportunity for us to short it, whether you play the break or the retest of the trend line on the bottom of this demand, which becomes your supply, all the way down to the 450.48 level. Okay, so that's something I'll watch on SPY. And then if you turn this over into an hour and remove these for a second, anyone see any other patterns here? Anyone? No. Okay.
Is that an inverse cup and handle?
It could be, yes. This right here, yeah, it's building up. Let me add a little bit of twist to your life. What about now?
It's a bear flag.
Falling wedge, Bennett.
Yeah, we see a falling wedge right into the key level. 450 is a really important level for SPY. So it could be a falling wedge right into the demand zone. You guys know that's my favorite pattern. So if that plays out, right, if you're able to break maybe about 455, 454-ish, we're going to have a chance to run on SPY. So, and you guys know we're really news driven lately. Hence people are, resistant to kind of start swinging just because one tweet about the war is going to change the whole thing that you're kind of doing. Okay, so let's see here. So for me personally, on this trend line break here, yes, we have a bear flag on this side here. But until we break this trend line, that's where we're going to be looking bearish. And me personally, if I'm playing this right here, that's not enough reward for me. I'm not going to be for this little area here because there's a potential for a strong bounce and then it would destroy my puts. So for me, it's most likely this scenario. If this decides to go here and then it decides to come back, let's say this way, I would probably look to re-enter here on the short side and go down. I would not play the first break. And I believe FOMC meetings are on Wednesday if somebody has it. I believe they come out Wednesday. I think Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So we might be a little choppy and sideways. They might collect some premiums on the market side to recover, some of the unexpected runs we've had. But this would be the levels for SPY that I'm watching tomorrow. You know, you break above this, you have the next one, you go here, you break that, then, you know, if, keep this in mind, if we are able to run this, right, and what's April 7th? That's a Thursday. This level here becomes really, really important here. So just watch this level here, 458 to, I guess, 459-ish. So you have a nice trend line there that's being built. Let me make sure the daily didn't change because I have my extended on. Yeah, I did a little bit. So that changed things a little bit based on the trend line we had. So if we start running after Wednesday's meeting, this level again becomes really, really crucial here around 460, right, for the rejection point. Okay. Any questions on SPY? Okay.
No, thank you, Shorty.
Let's look at Qs real quick. So this is our previous high here. That's fairly important, right? So this is your, so this is your, you know, it had a little, I don't consider this change of character. When the first high is broken, that's really not, you know, oh my God, let me get in. So if you look at this, right, we had a nice channel down. So let's go just from here. So we had a nice channel down and we broke that. But, you know, really this is, you know, the levels that changed the behavior was this 348 level, but then this is a very, very important level here. 357 is going to be a major retest on this level here. And that's something to look out for. And then just from price action trading, we covered it a little bit, right? You're looking for indecision candles prior to an explosion move, right? So if you look at this area here, for instance, let me see. If you just look at this area here, does anyone see any points of interest, candles that you would want to mark for the levels of retest? Let me make this smaller so you guys can concentrate a little bit. How about in this area here? I'm gonna zoom it in, or is kind of, you guys see anything interesting here?
Like the 372 area.
So this candle right here is the one that interests me. This one right here. So it had that candle, they dipped it, they made another indecision candle, and then an explosion happened from there. So what I would do is, if I was charting this, just price action charting, this is something that I would look for the price to come back to it. And, you know, it's very close to this, so take it long, but then look what happened on the downside here. It came very close to it and didn't like it, right? So this level here becomes very important because there seems to be the sellers, which were buyers before, now I flipped the board, right? And now they're pretty heavy into selling. And then, you know, if you want more recent ones, you know, the most recent demand zones and price action become a little bit more important as well. So if you look here, we had a higher high, lower high, right? So this was your previous higher low, I would say, or maybe here it's lower low just because of this one. But just pay attention for a second, right? We bounced from this one. So this one is fairly important level, I would say, well, maybe close to 380, right? Then you see that, you know, we got the bounce right here. We got a little bit of confluence here. I don't know if this is a true bounce. It looked like a liquidity sweep here, right? But then this one is actually kind of dipping here and made a lower low compared to the previous one. So around this level is when you're expecting the break of this level is when you're shorting. Okay. So now if you're looking for a candle that triggered this, there's a couple of them, right? You have the indecision here, and either one you grab, I don't think you'll necessarily be wrong in doing it. So if I grab this one, you see that, you know, it's a nice it becomes a nice supply zone. If I go to the little guy, it becomes even cleaner. I'm just going off of the indecision candles. We broke the lower low. This is going to create a huge character change. You break the new low, you're going to go down, but when you revisit, look what happens. And most traders are looking for opportunities to enter the short here. If they have the opportunity, if this was hitting right here, they would get that. And then, here was a good opportunity to enter as well. And now if I just keep going for a second, I'll just delete this. So this is our latest data here that we have. And before we dump, this is the area that you're watching for potential rejection right here. And, try to mark these levels and just kind of look at it and see what happens, right? Practice. You don't even have to take a trade. Just practice tomorrow. I'm looking at this area here. Let me see what happened. There's an indecision kind of doji here that happened, before movement. So if I grab this guy here to the bottom, I would expect the price at some point will come back to this and maybe bounce and go higher as well. But this is your range now where you can expect to play puts, calls till one of these levels gives out. But this is kind of, this is on a 4-hour chart. You can do the same thing, whether it's a 10-minute chart or whatever you're using, for your entries, right? If you're using 3 minutes, the same can be said there as well. So this is your lower low here. So if I come back, does everybody understand what I'm trying to do here for you guys? I don't know if everybody's picking it up, but it's basically figuring out your price action to help you determine the intraday levels and how to trade it. So here you could have picked up any of these candles. You see what happened, right? You had indecision. It was on 3 minutes, it was a bunch of indecision candles. So let's say you picked, the highest that you could see, and look how well it played, right? They dipped it right below it, and you literally get an entry right here. We still, I guess we came close here. We came close to it. So maybe tomorrow you're watching the upper side of this 362.77 to look for a short on Qs. And this is just based on 3-minute chart, right? So the 3-minute chart is not as powerful as upper time frames, but that's something that you want to, get comfortable with first before you lower the time frames all the way if you're using 1 minute for scalping or whatnot. But you can find this pretty much on any chart. You're looking here. Okay, well, there's my candle, right? We come back, look, and we exploded right into it. So you wouldn't have known that this is where your rejection is, right? If, this never happened. Maybe you're not time traveler. So then you look at the candles here, right? So in 3 minutes, you really can't find maybe the best candle here, how you want to play it. There's some here before that dump that plays a role, this big candle here. And that's the one that's kind of looking bearish for this level. So you can play that rejection all the way to here. And when you're scalping, you're not really looking for the biggest moves possible. But what I see happening tomorrow, just on 3 minutes, what I'm seeing here is that if we break this, this is your zone for buying. This right here becomes a great opportunity in case, we have to kind of pay attention to the markets, but this based on price action tomorrow might be a good opportunity to get in some calls tomorrow. Like you dip here, you come back, and then you load up, you get your 20-30%, you let some free runners go, see how far they go, and you get out. And it's as simple as that. So let's see. So it was fairly easy to trade this. Look at this. You had here. So even if you took the trade on the break of this candle, let me just show you. So let's say you took the candle break. You want it above this candle here. You put your stop loss right here. Your target becomes the previous zone which you had from here. And that's a 3-to-1 trade right here. So that's a reward that you want to take at any point in time, right? You want to take this trade. You can only react. We don't know which way it's going to go, but if you have a setup and you have your edge, like what we were trying to do here, you would have been able to profit nicely on here. If you look at it, right, you have kind of like a falling wedge demand. And even if I send this all the way down, you see that it's respected, come back, retest, And usually the retest of a major demand like this goes to the next high. And this is where we had the rejection. So that's where it went. So tomorrow will be interesting just to see how it plays. And I'll probably be live in the morning based on my schedule. And I'll show you guys at least how we can look at it and look at it live. Okay, so now the same concept on this. I'm just going to look at the higher time frames. Right, so all of these charts, guys, are going to be the same. Like we're waiting for something. You know, the market's anticipating something's happened here. I don't know if it's going to be interest rates, war, whatever it's going to be. Market's not ready for a direction yet. So here's your weekly trend lines. I mean, if you look at it, what would you guys call this? And here's a monthly view. Anyone? Yeah, it's a bull flag, guys. This is, I mean, look at it. You have 1, 2, 1, 2. You had a candle here. It's just that this candle was very, very bullish on April 1st here. Did I? Oh, sorry. This was 2020 April 1st candle. Monthly candle is very bullish compared to this one. Yes, there's buyers here. There's a lot of pressure coming in, you know, all the way from 317. Now, if we are able to, if we go below 344, 345-ish, you know, then we have potential to dip lower as well. So weekly, you know, monthly wise, we have a bullish setup. Then you go to weekly and you're like, okay, well, this candle is probably not the best, but it's giving us a second touch on the trend line, or maybe even third if you count this one right here. So we're getting 3 touches so far. Most people that play inside bars, outside bars, you know, they would not even touch this until 371.83 is broken for swings. So this is your previous high here, and then obviously you see this was our previous high prior to that, which is a 370, just a round number. So not the best setup on the weekly, same as SPY. I like to look at 3 days because it gives me a little bit, you know, clearer, not a full week, but it gives me 3 days more than half of the days in here. Does anyone know what this pattern is on the 2 candles here?
An inside bar.
Definitely inside bar, but what's the name of it?
Damn, people. I don't want to answer it, but I guess let the members answer it.
Yep, that's not a bullish Harami, no. Anyone ever heard of any piercing candles? I'll let you guys figure that one out. So spend some time looking at the candles. Look up maybe bearish piercing and see how it looks like compared to this one. See if it matches. Bullish Harami would be a little bit different options, right? So it would need to be, you need an indecision candle. It cannot be this big compared to the previous candle. Let me see where I can find a good one. I mean, there's a lot of pin bars. There's a baby, abandoned baby top. Let me look up daily. Usually can find them on daily. So yeah, maybe I don't see many here. Maybe I'm not looking for them. Okay, so we'll take a look at that, right? On the daily, I mean, you have a mini daily trend line here as well, which kind of lines up with our major trend line here. So really not even worth charting that. But on the bottom side here, it might be, right? So if you're able to take this out, just price action wise, 358.59, then we're able to basically short it for easy gains here. That will probably bring it back all the way to here. I would say 352, so about 6 points off of that. it would have potential on that. Let me go in 1 hour.
Yo, Shorty, when you get a chance, check out BTU.
Oh, well, I just have to go through my usual suspects first.
Oh, let's get it.
Okay, so let me go to 30 minutes. So here you have a nice little, 30-minute trend line here that you can use. Whoa. That was the anchor VPOC. Usually you want to color it something different so that way you know this is your 30 minutes. So kind of same setup as SPY, guys. Falling wedge, but I think on this one we might have a little bit of different structure on the POCs. If I remember correctly. Yep, there's a little bit of difference. So here's our VPOC. Another one there. So it's a bunch of VPOCs below. I don't know if that's 17 or 18 square. The date doesn't matter. You really don't have to put the date if you don't want to. I put it for the members when they ask me, hey, is this the date? Is this, VPOC or POC or what this might be? That's why I mark the date so that way I can quickly answer the questions. So 315. Mark this guy, and then you have another one, right? But man, this is totally different structure than SPY. And I posted a chart for you guys during the weekend that basically said usually tech stocks fly during the interest rates. So just keep that in mind. They've been beaten down a little bit. Oh, that's a weird profile. To zoom in to get that one. Can't see it. Okay, and then we got the upper targets. And here we got 2 POCs. We'll wrap those. A little Christmas gift. So what would you guys expect at this level to happen right here? Anyone?
Repeat that.
What would you guys expect at this level right here?
A rejection.
Yeah, it'd probably be an easy rejection because what would the rest of retail expect happen?
To go higher.
They would expect this. There's nothing there. If they push it higher, it might be a trap. So what might happen is they do this, and then the typical new retailer trader happens. Man, as soon as I got into the calls, it went down to the put side, right? You probably guys hear that a lot. I hear a lot because they're not on the side of the market. They're playing the FOMO style. So this is where I would be interested to look potentially for swings unless we see some news, from the war side or whatnot that things are changing. But we still have the interest rates that I'm kind of worried about. Did you guys see the news in Germany?
No, what's that about?
So last week when we were on the watch list, remember me telling anyone that I see food prices going another 25%?
Yeah, and shortages and whatnot.
Yep. Germany just announced all of their retail stores are increasing prices between 25 and 50% starting Monday.
Wow.
And I told you, U.S. is going to be 10 times worse than that, but some people think I was fucking crazy. We're just starting supply chain issues. We haven't hit those yet. So we'll watch these levels tomorrow. So we have the 365.41 for a potential rejection here. And then, if they get over this, this will be a really, really sweet spot to get some puts. And I'm not talking maybe weekly puts, but it might be a good sweet spot to get, monthly expirations. I believe 414 is the monthly OPEX on April. So I'll definitely watch that here. So these are the levels that I'm interested in for now. I'll just remove this for a second, look at a chart.
Quick question.
Yep.
I know I know your name's Shorty and you love shorting, but would you not play into this long given the flag or the wedge that's developing and then all the POCs up above?
Oh yeah, I will take the long, but here, I mean, for me personally, I don't like this reward here.
No, I know, but I meant like even going beyond that.
Oh, if this breaks, I'll take it long, of course. I'll take this long, but I'll be switching quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I take this, I'll take that. I'll take this any time of day, but I'll be cautious, right? I mean, you have a congestion here in terms of candles. It's not like, here.
It's not free flowing.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of hiccups here that we have. So this level here becomes fairly important, I would say. If I was to fix that, it would look like this. So yeah, I would definitely not take this here because that falling wedge is not steep enough. I mean, it's not like if it was like this and we are kind of here, yeah, I would definitely take that. But since this one is not that shaped, this reward here is not really something that I would shoot for. So that's cues. Then we have the other suspects, right? We shorted the video like perfectly, right? I mean, a few times we hit in the video.
The video paid on Friday.
Oh, the video, man, those contracts that we swung, the 270.
Those puts, man. Oh my goodness.
They went from $1, I believe the high was 8.
Yeah, those paid, man.
Yeah, those were good. Those were really, really good puts. It was a good play. I mean, I didn't risk a lot. I only had 3. And if you can take $300 and you can make $1,500, you should be done for the day. Like, I don't know why you need more. Like, you converted little money to big money. So let's see what we got here. Pretty sure we have a VPOC above. Yeah, there it goes. 30 minutes, VPOC here. This volume profile is fairly important. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So here I'm just grabbing like a standard deviation around it. Again, obviously we have some POCs here. And the reason it's POC is, it dipped and came back for a retest the next day. And usually that's the normal price action. And when that happens, do you guys know what type of day we're having? When something dips below and comes back from the bottom, usually it's a trending day to the bullish side in POCs. Okay, let's see, let's just kind of keep going. So we have the POC here. 242 is a nice VPOC. Off of 316. So where would you short NVIDIA next? Anyone?
You want me to answer?
No.
Okay.
Under 256, under that VPOC.
You can short it there. Obviously, you would lose about $11 from there, right? You would not be in play for 11 bucks.
Let me know when I'm allowed to answer.
Somebody has to answer.
Is it on the retest of 256?
Not 256. No, shorting. I don't want to go long.
The retest to 268.
Yeah, you can retest at 268. That's where you want to look at it. 268 to 270 is the range that we're going after here. So if I go here, like you see, I mean, we're off by what, 3 cents? This is the area that I would be interested in to short, right? We know 270 psychological number is important, right? But we have not tested this. So now just forget everything you see on your chart, right? Just pay attention to what I'm about to show you, right? This is 30 minutes, okay? I'm going to show you something that we did earlier. Where's the indecision candle in this cluster here, right before the explosion? What's the closest indecision candle you see here? Would you say this one here? It looks like a good one.
Yes.
So if you just do this on the bottom of it here, this level was not tested yet. So this here, and Flip knows this, he uses this a lot. What do you guys call this area right here? And I explained this to you guys, I believe, last week, or maybe I didn't. I think I did. Let me shade it a little bit differently. This area, yellow area here. So we made a new higher high, and we broke above it, right? This was a clear trap here. What they did here was a nice trap to the downside. This became a distribution zone. This became where they emptied the warehouse, as we call it, right? But this became basically a liquidity sweep for the retailers. They know the retailers like, okay, well, we're holding this level here. Look, they see this wick, and I guarantee you, just Google or go on Twitter and type in NVIDIA and see how many people had this 270, 271 buy more. Yeah, it worked once. I promise. Once it breaks, it's not going to work again. And look, came back for a retest. And what do you think retail did here?
They bought long.
They bought long.
And they got faked
whoever
out.
Whoever bought 270, 280s, you know what happened to those contracts? Done. Toast. And they do that specifically because what did the retail do here? Where was their stop loss? Do you think stop loss might have been somewhere around here? Like this dotted line? So what that means for big boys is that if they put a stop loss here, they're going to manipulate you. They're going to say, oh, thank you for the trail stop. Thank you for letting us know where you are. What we're going to do is that we need a little bit more shares of NVIDIA. And well, we're going to go below your stop loss. We're going to hit your stop loss to get your free shares. So they get your shares here, and then you're like, oh shit, look, now NVIDIA wants to go back up. Let's say we break 270, we run through it. High chance that you can short NVIDIA at 270 here, 277, 278 level. You know, your stop loss, let it be 281. And you will do probably just fine on that trade. And that's how the markets play. They do it all the time. I'm just going to delete these lines so we don't get confused. Hopefully that made sense, what I was trying to explain. It's a simple accumulate, set up a distribution, set up a liquidity zone, dip it below, scare away the retail. Now they're going to come back and poor retail guys, you know, if they go above 272, you know what they're going to do. they're going to be like, oh my God, time for some heavy calls. And they're going to blow up their account. They're going to come $5 more. And then literally what happens is this. I'll leave these arrows. Let me actually make them arrows. If we decide to rip, it's going to look like this. It goes here. They take people out. It comes back here. I'm not using any fibs to determine levels. And most people on Twitter, when I post stuff like this, like, oh my God, but it didn't hit like on the right on the arrow. I'm like, dude, that the timing I can't determine. I'm just telling you how the price is going to move. It comes back here, and then poof, goes here. But then what happens is where people get in trouble is they're like, man, we're going here to the all-time highs or whatever. But instead, what happens is that you have to revisit this zone here. And this is where you short. You short here and you take it all the way down to about 256, so it's a $22 move while they're chasing something else higher to the moon. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we'll be watching. I mean, tomorrow if we see strength, right? So we close there at 260 something, 267 post hours. So if we are able to, if they gap it up right over the 270 level tomorrow, you can expect them to do this first phase here. But I'll be looking for shorting at 278 if they do that. If I see weakness, then let's say they dip it here. Let's say we hit the demand zone. Then it makes sense to short it at 268, right? So we just got to play the levels, and you see here. Look what happened once we dipped it here. Look at this. We bounce, dip. So now bounce, short, boom. It depends how we open options, right? I mean, if we open and we're above 270, well, I would have to wait for a dip, retest down. If we open, below 270 and let's say we go towards, you're really weak on open, then there's a high chance that we come into this demand zone around 260. Well, then 270 short would make sense on a first hit. Here, on a retest, yes. But if we open above it, then 278 is probably the most likely scenario that we're going to be shorting at. Because NVIDIA can make $10 moves all day. On 1 hour, to me, it looks like a straight up, I mean, it's a bear pennant, clear as day for me. For some people, and hopefully nobody that's been in this group, this right here is not an ascending triangle. Please don't call it ascending triangle. There's nothing ascending or continuing on a bullish run on ascending triangle. So yeah,
Shorty will block you.
This is definitely a bear pennant. Some people on Twitter will call this as a ascending triangle. There's nothing ascending about this. Those type of patterns only occur when you're already in a bullish run and making higher highs, higher lows. That's where you look for ascending triangles. Here, not so much. You don't look for that here. Sure, you can break this trend line, but look at the resistances that you have above. And most people that play the momentum breakouts eventually get caught on this hit here, and then they struggle a little bit. Okay, so any other patterns that you guys see here? Let me give you 3 hours.
Head and shoulders.
Head and shoulders forming. There's also an inverted cup and handle forming. So if we wanted to play the inverted cup and handle, let's take a look. Oh, what do you know? Look where we are short below, and you guys see what level is there? Anyone see it? Or it's too orangish? Let's see, where's the price? Let's see, left. You guys see what level is lined up right here and short below? Guys, anyone? your golden ratio is lined up perfectly on a 260 on 61.8 here. So most likely what you see happen tomorrow, or if you see it, is that we come here, struggle, maybe we're looking to short it here. Worst case, unless we dip below in the morning. So we'll be watching this tomorrow. Of course, NVIDIA is our usual suspect here. If this candle was up to here, I would definitely not be interested in shorting, because that would be a bullish piercing candle, and I don't like shorting bullish piercing candles. Okay. Any questions on the video? Does it make sense? Anyone confused? This was just this swing here. So if I select it, you see the swing here. Let me see. I think I can show you somehow. Here, this is the coordinates. I'm looking for this swing to find the support of this, and that's right here, or resistances right there. Okay, AMD. I think AMD played pretty good on our levels last time we played it. I know one person did not take good position on it, and he lost. But I think he was reacting more so than playing the levels that he had. Off the watch list. I think most of you guys know where it's headed. That's a pretty big demand zone here now. On this one. Yeah, so we have the 103, 102, and then, of course, the psychological 100 level is always there. The 101, and then there's the double tap here, unfinished business. 99.35. We'll have a little gap. You guys see what happened here? Does anyone see what happened on 2 days ago? On this POC, how would you describe this POC, Drew? This one here.
Sorry, that's a lowercase b.
Yep, lowercase b. So that means that whatever this was before, there was a lot of buying here. But on this particular day, what happened is that this was actually probably a POC at one point. This right here, this level, that if I zoom in a little bit more, you guys see that? Like, I guess this candle.
It's
right
like
here.
double distribution. Yeah.
Yeah, so it basically created like a little double distro, but at the same time, this was a mini POC. At one point in the day, I guarantee you, if you go, I don't know what's called, ThinkOrSwim more here, like rewind it and look at it, you'll be able to see that you had a POC at one point at 113, and then you have a skinny belly all the way to the POC. And most people, what happens when it hits the bottom POC and they see the shelf is being created, they buy calls as soon as you cross it. And look, if you play this 110, I mean, this went all the way to 111. You can make money on this, guys. Between 110 and 111, you guys know you can print 20-30% easy on that. Then once you broke it, obviously that's different, but won't go into details. So here's another POC here that lines up at this 108. mark these levels here real quick. So of course the 110 is there. Wow, look at how strong this level here is, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, if you combine this, 114 right here has probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say 5 hits within 50 cents. Right here. I'll just draw it once so you guys can visualize it. Yeah, look at this level here. We dipped below it, we went higher, and this was an easy short. Do you guys remember where the short was on our ThinkOrSwim chart? Whoever gets the level without opening ThinkOrSwim, you get a special gift.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Where was our level for shorting on AMD last week?
Oh gosh.
Oh, you should know it by heart. Come on, guys.
I'm pretty sure it was right there, like 114.50-ish. Oh no, it's like 117, 118, something like that. Sorry, I don't know.
Anyone? Just silly.
119.
119.45. Well, I mean, I don't have the chart, but I'm pretty sure if you go into ThinkOrSwim I'm pretty sure it's posted on shorty charts. Look, 119.45 was the level. Check 331. Let's see.
Yeah, I remember it was 119 when, hold on, hold on.
Guys, look at the level here, 119.45.
I remember seeing it in the dark pool levels.
119.45 was our level for shorting for AMD. And that was a fairly easy short, guys. I mean, if you look at it, 119.45 here, I have 55 obviously on TradingView. And just for new people, TradingView is going to have slightly different levels than ThinkOrSwim. ThinkOrSwim uses aggregate volume. The guy that created that script or the math behind it, slightly different than TradingView. And ThinkOrSwim uses a different, obviously, language, and the platform is based on Java, but the ThinkScript is a little bit different than TradingView. TradingView has more accurate volume profiles for intraday. For the same day levels, actually TradingView is more accurate. And look at here, guys. I mean, you have a nice trend line, you have a nice touch. I mean, even if you wanted to move this here, right? Look at this. Nice touch, nice touch. As soon as you broke this level here, you could have shorted 121. You said safe bet was 119.45. So about $11 short on this one. And this level is here is actually double X POC. Right here. So this here is our VPOC. And new people, VPOCs are basically like, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I would say they're 10 times stronger than regular POCs. And they hit very nicely to the pennies on upper and bottom side. So that's AMD. So I honestly, until it reclaims 110, I would not be interested on it. And even, if it does that, it has that 111 level that it's been kind of struggling with a little bit. So 111.5 gives you the best reward because you'd be able to catch about $2 move on it. You break 110, there's a high chance you reject here at this level. There's also 111 even here. If you look at this POC, I didn't mark it because there was no price action on it yet. But definitely a bear flag, right? So if you look at the 1 hour, it's developing here. Doesn't mean it's going to play out tomorrow, but there's definitely a flag that's building up now. So we go 15 minutes. You'll be able to see it a little bit better. I mean, that's a huge candle in the last 15 minutes, right? And there was a huge bet also, if you guys look at it. It was a bullish spread on it. So I think he was selling the 115 puts for 14. So I think he's expecting a close. I think it was the minimum close about 110 for this week, which would be interesting on AMD. So we'll watch this here. See, I mean, we could take the 108 and play it all the way to 110. Just know that we might get a little bit of a rejection here by 109s, but not much. On it, we see what Salad's talking about. He said 3.7 to 3.14. This one here, yeah. I mean, this is a fairly strong one. The 105, yes, we're aware of the 105. ThinkOrSwim. Let me look. I'm pretty sure we had the 105 charted on it. But maybe not. Yeah, that's a good level right here. I would say this here, 106, all the way to like 105-ish is a pretty good demand zone. Once it breaks 105, it's really in trouble. I would say if you're gonna play it again below, I would say 105. I would say 105. Yeah, 105.7 would be the next short on the weak side. If you're playing momentum here, and then a retest would be the VPOC here. So I'll be looking to short here. So that's something that I would look here on this one. And the Tesla, this looks good. Guys, this looks pretty freaking good. You guys see it? You guys are a quiet bunch today, so that's good.
What about Tessie?
Oh, this looks powerful. We have news, something's gonna pop again besides the split. So
Yeah.
you have a 4-hour bull flag. You have the gap right here, right there. So that's 1053 is so important. I mean, you literally short this. I'll probably wait for the 1050 break. Oh, they have delivery numbers?
Yeah, they came out over Saturday, I think, or over the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. Supposedly they good or something like that.
They were good or they were not good? Sorry.
They were good.
Yeah, they were really good, I heard.
Okay, well, I guess that was the news that they were waiting for.
But then
no.
their side that says, "Oh, that was already priced in" or whatever the hell, which doesn't. There's a lot of whiplash.
Closed at 1084, but it's at 1091. So we gap up right after close $7. But maybe options, maybe if man, I've had a long weekend. If I did post it, I don't remember it. So let me look at a 30 minutes chart here. Does anyone find anything interesting on this chart? Just looking at this here. Anyone? Anything?
That massive gap.
Let me show you why we use VPVR. Okay, close your eyes. Open your eyes. See what happens if we close below 10. If we dip below 1053.
We fly down.
We literally go to this VPOC here at 1,000. Like, I mean, it would happen probably in 15 minutes on this. I mean, this if we see weakness, guys, this is easy money. There, I don't know why, but this would be the easiest money you make this week. You could probably make enough money on this trade here just to not trade the rest of the week. So we'll be looking this. This would be our VPOC. VPOC, what is that? What day would that be? 325. Multi POC as well. Bounce. So I would expect a strong bounce. And then if we dip below that 1,000, again, I mean, you go back, and you're coming back kind of like right here. When you guys see how these levels that we had are lining up with the POCs here. And look, there's multiple POCs. You see the clusters, right? You see how the clusters are created. So if you short below this level here, you can expect to have a bounce in this range because this POC carried a nice shelf around psychological 900 level. You guys see that? So this here becomes your demand zone. And here, so you have 926 break, you have $26 drop easy. You break 926, 1,000 breaks. I mean, you have a pretty significant drop here. And then you look at the daily candles, and then you'll see how interesting it gets. Not on a VPVR, but just the candles itself. So there's a 1053 candle here. You guys see the wick, of course, kind of showing there. Let me go on the weeklies. So here's the previous high that we had, right? You see here 950 kind of sitting. You see the stack here at 907. You see the candle bottom here. So it kind of matches this level. They're not going to match perfectly. That's the point of them, people trusting the wicks or whatnot too much. But if there's any bad news, I don't want to remove everything. Could anyone see any pattern developing from this 1, 2, and a third candle here? There's a three candle pattern. Anyone know what it is? Yes, that's an evening star here, but there are three candles pattern. Yeah, there it goes. It would be an abandoned baby pattern. And usually when those hit, oh God, like we dip hard, guys. Whenever that happens, we're gonna dip super, super hard. I'm not saying trust it by itself, but abandoned babies are really, really powerful. You gap, and then if we gap down, man, that's a signal. We're gonna be revisiting some major levels. And this is our monthly trend line here. And then let me see, I think there's a nice weekly trend line as well. Yeah, this is, do you guys see any pattern here in a bigger picture? Let me remove this. Anyway, how about now?
Megaphone or?
Yeah,
megaphone.
right there. Yeah, so you have a megaphone. So usually what happens is that you'll come, and I think on one of my charts that I posted on Tesla, where's Tesla? We posted it. Where are you, Tesla? Maybe it doesn't matter, but I think we posted it somewhere. Okay, so I would watch this kind of 1050 level for a potential rejection if we decide to run tomorrow. I did swing some calls, 1200 with Earth on it, but let's see how we do. But I would definitely watch for this megaphone pattern trend line here to be the rejection. I would get some puts actually on that, but that's just me. And then some people would be pushing for this high here, which would be 1208. So, which is possible, right? If this breaks here, that we go all the way up. I just don't know how those numbers, I guess, that they release, how people are going to react to it. So we do have a VPOC here. Let's see, VPOC here. And a POC. I would call this multi-POC here. And I think we're right there now with the ETH. Yep, we're right here. We're hitting that level currently. So that's interesting. I mean, if you're able to push that, you know, some people have 1094 off of the wick. If you're able to push through this demand zone here, or supply zone, I'm sorry, you have a chance for 1100. Break that, then we have the 1148, 1150, so that'll be good. So that's something I'll watch for Tesla. Definitely short below 1053 on the momentum down. Or look for the entries above, you know, for a break. Was it like 1094-ish, 1095? You can get a nice push and then keep going. What other ones you guys got? Somebody said D-Dog, so I don't want to ignore you.
Can you check on SRNE after this?
Yep. Is that a penny stock? If it is, I won't. I don't want to waste time on penny stocks. Okay, so there's a nice trend line here on 30 minutes. I just have to look at that.
Yeah, SRNE is a penny stock, 236.
And I don't really play penny stocks because they're, you know, especially if they're low floats. I don't mess with those. All those furrows or whatever you call them, they're all over it when they preload it on you guys.
Oh, sorry, I got a cutie for you. Home Depot HD. You're gonna like.
I know. That's right at the demand zone with my favorite setup.
Oh wow, look at you! Wow, I like it.
I mean, the VPOC looks freaking good here. Just on weekly. I mean, this is a nice setup here.
Oh, yeah.
I think GM is pretty close to a demand zone with your favorite setup too.
I just don't like this monthly candle so far. Even though it's like 3 days in, but it could have started a little bit better. All right, so this is an important level for the monthly, 156.42. Do they have any news recently? When's the earnings? 16th of May. Well, I would expect a dump first. Just they're not going to run into earnings. Okay, man. So maybe even all the way to a 900. So it has a handoff EWAP here. So it has a bounce potential on 41. And is there any liquidity on it? Why is it so choppy on the price action? Oh, yeah, that's nasty. Does it look weird to you guys, like the candles on it, or just me? Maybe I'm getting old. It just looks weird. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm because I'm not familiar with it. I'm just trying to figure out where the major levels are on it. Me personally, I mean, you can play the breakout at 156.42. It depends if you're playing shares or if you're going to be, you know, options. I'll be looking for a retest to 140 as my entry for any swings, or I'm pretty sure we're going to get there at this level here, 140. I'm just looking like price action. So there's a little guy where it pops from, matches here. And even if it doesn't, then you have this guy here. And look how well that came. So 145, 140 level would be pretty critical on it. You can definitely short it below 149.9. So I would short here. And I'd go long about 146.42. And I'm not really familiar with this stock. I mean, I don't trade it much, but yeah. And it has, anyone see what it has here on 4 hours? Did I give it away? You guys see that?
Good night, Mom.
Yep, so we got the rising wedge right into a supply zone here. So not the sexiest setup to take something along unless we get some major news or whatnot here. And it's had a lot of price action in that price here. That
Could
is
you
in it.
could you check out Oxy after this one, please?
Yeah. As long as about 50 bucks, he's still good.
Damn, who's taking my play?
Yeah, 156.42. Yeah, I would definitely watch it. I mean, you can watch it. I won't play this, but you can definitely watch it. It's a good setup for shorting for me. Unless this breaks and then continues, then you have $10 move on it. Let's see. Chart on weekly. Oof, weekly chart looks nasty on it. Let's see. So this here. So it's kind of consolidating here. I don't have a clear. Here's our 3-day. Probably use it. I think this will go higher. Let's see. Still have interest in the firm as they suck their leadership. Horrible. Look how they threw a curveball for pattern traders here. Look at 30 minutes. Yeah, this is definitely consolidating here. I mean, this is definitely consolidating. I mean, it hasn't made a real move yet. Besides the one where it had a big candle, I think Warren Buffett buying the crap out of it. And this one is really, when you think about it, it responds well to the war news and oh my God, but look at these. You tell me somebody didn't know they're going to be in a war or whatnot. Look at this accumulation here. I mean, this is one. I mean, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Nobody knew about the war, right? It goes way back too. Yeah, if it's able to break out of this, I would expect it to go to 47 on this huge consolidation. And then if it breaks on the upper side, I would say it breaks 58.43-ish. You have that psychological 60 level, which is right here. So it breaks that, then you have the 65 test. So 60 to 65 would be the range I play. And then downside would be, I would probably short below 55.5. You would have a little bit of 53. You will get a bounce there because it's a VPOC. Once it breaks that, then you get a little bit of room to the downside here. Yeah, I would just play the triangle on this one. On the 30 minutes. the targets up and down. So this will be your major level here, 60.25, and then just off of right here, you have 63.96. So that's where you would start trimming a little bit closer to it. It's really choppy. That's not something that you want to be trading yet, but that's just me. It's consolidating. It's still making in a bull flag consolidation on the daily. So over 60.25, I'd look to take a long. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Firm, is it over 40? Wow, over 46. I'm mad at this stock.
Yeah, when is it gonna pop again?
I don't think it's gonna pop. The banks hate the stock.
Yeah, they don't make money, bro.
Yeah, this is a shorting level on it right here. So this is our indecision. If you want to go 2, sure, you can go 2 as well. It's entering a really critical shorting area here. So this is where you got the bounce. You see how we got the bounce again? I mean, and it went pretty far, right? I mean, it went 83-ish. I think they just popped down because of Apple, right? Last week. Did an Apple do something with financial services? I think somebody said something. This looks more like a down channel than. See, I mean, I would definitely look short it here. And even if you look at the daily, it becomes a little bit. I mean, I pushed about 53-ish and then looked short it. That'll be pretty good here. Lines up with this, the supply zone, I guess this supply zone, then a trend line here. I would definitely look to see if you can get some traction here on it. And then we'll take a look at that. VPOC. Yeah, that's some VPOCs. So it bounced perfectly off of this one here. Man, I wish they didn't do. Oh, I'm gonna right where. This looks pretty bearish to me. Anyone see any patterns here? Look at that.
I mean, you have a gap. There's a like a symmetrical triangle.
This one here.
Yeah, it looks like you have a. Well, no, that's not a flag.
Where do you see the inverse? Oh, you see inverse cup and handle. I thought you said inverse head and shoulder options. I was like, dude.
Yeah, inverse cup and handle there. You have a symmetrical triangle.
This is kind of not right way to do it, but it broke here.
Yeah, it did break it.
I mean, if we can get a push here, where did it close? A $3 push, guys. This is a good short. You know, if it breaks this, this is a good short, and then you'll have another short around this area. I would make sure that, you know, your 50 level, psychological level is considered on this. Because if you look at this candle here on 30 minutes, you guys see this? This is something that I would look at, right?
Yeah. Can you draw the fibs for the symmetrical triangle? I know it broke already, but just to see where those levels land.
So our 1618 is landing like right on top of this supply zone here, 58. This one is very close here, maybe 55-ish, 54, what is it, 54.5. And then here we have the, I mean, this is, when you guys mark the top and bottom, you guys know that you don't want to trade between the 61.8 and 61.8. You don't want to be stuck in this. So if you look here between 47.31 and 44.73, look at the price action.
Yep. Choppy, choppy, choppy.
Like, you have to be really, really, really good. And I hate trading this. Like, I would not trade this. When it's stuck below the 61.8 to the up and the bottom, so resistance support, you do not want to be in here. So if you're going to play it, yeah, you can take it off of this, right? Break of 47, there's a high chance you go to 50. I will take a short position at it. And then if it breaks that, I will re-add. I'll keep re-adding till all the way goes up. If I'm swinging, but you guys know in this market, I have not been swinging much. Yeah, but that's a firm. I would definitely look at that. I haven't seen any, maybe I concentrated. There's VPOCs to the downside here. There's another VPOC here. So if you're gonna play it long, I guess you could go here, 47.33. So this would be good. You could play this, go long, and then if you're gonna go short, you guys know the trend line can be your trigger, but do you guys really think this is worth it? I mean, you have a lower low here. For me, there's not enough meat on the bone to play this right here. I would not play that. I would wait for the lower low to be taken out. So 44.33 would be the short. So here, and then here you look, short entry, look, strength, candles, and then another re-entry would be here somewhere. Okay, does that make sense anyway?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good, I mean, you can play this here long. I would have to check with ThinkOrSwim, see where it's at on the clouds. I mean, I'd be interested to see where is it on the daily cloud, this one. Just so that way we know. But this level here is pretty important for it. This right here is fairly important level for it. So it's better to short this one on the upper side than it is on the breakouts. Up to the downside. What else you guys got?
Oh, HD, Shorty, you check it out for the group.
So Shorty affirms inside the daily cloud.
Bottom, top?
Oh, sorry, the top, yeah. The top of the daily cloud is at 48, and the bottom of the daily cloud is at
what is the mid? That's 44?
47.21, or sorry, 47.10, and the bottom
weekly
is 45.76. The weekly bottom?
Where is it on the weekly? Is it upper or lower?
Hang on.
Should be lower.
I'm pretty sure it's on the bottom. Yeah, the lower. Yeah, it's on the weekly below the weekly bottom.
Yeah, it's hitting the daily top here. Man, yeah, it has definitely potential to go to the 4 hour here.
Actually, it's in the weekly bottom right now. Inside the weekly bottom. The weekly top is at basically 49.50, and the bottom is at 41.45.
So So you're saying it might execute a bearish backdoor on a weekly here.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, 49, yeah. I'll be looking for a short entry in this. I just think, like I told you guys like 2 months ago, that their banks are going to try to crush this company. They're taking out all the small loans from the banks. That's where banks also make money. Okay, let me go back to HD. HD.
Do you hold stock in a firm?
I do have stock. I'm bag holding right now because they happen to fucking release earnings by mistake. They pumped it, and then I was positive a lot, and then they dumped it, and I was not able to get out. HD does look good, so I mean it does have a little bear flag pattern here. So let's look at the 4 hours. Yep, so it's right at the demand zone on the 4 hours. I don't like the volume here so far, the candles. There's a volume anomaly. That's a pretty bearish. Where's the VP? Because this one's been running wild too. Yeah, so that's 289 here. It's already below it. Well, 395 breaks. Did it break it? No. So as 299, 298.9. If this breaks, I mean, just look right here for yourself.
Nice
This
skinny
does not
belly.
lie. I
Yeah.
mean, this is gonna dump. And then just look at this, guys. While I'm on this, you guys see this candle here? I'm trying not to move it so I don't mess up with the volume profile.
Yeah, it's gonna
See
line
this
up.
candle here?
It lines up with the shelf, volume shelf there.
Look at this now.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely you can get a bounce here. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna get a bounce, but you also might get a smackdown real quick on that bounce. So it has a 307 right here, I guess. Well, can't go on this one. So you have the 307 off of here. So if it goes above 303, right here. So this area, this is a good entry if you're gonna play the 4 points. Then you see how congested it is here, right? You have 309. The 310 level becomes super important, and then obvious retest here coming would be the 316 on the POC. It has about 320, so that's potential right there. But then if it breaks this, I'll be interested in shorting this. Yeah, I mean it's at demand zone, retail's buying here, but this stock also ran wild during COVID, guys. I mean this target lows. I mean look at this, guys. We went from being a $140 stock to being a what, $450 stock? So it ran, let's see, it ran 200%, guys. I mean, what changed in the business model from March 16, 2020 to December 6, 2021 in Home Depot? Sure, the commodity prices go up, but there's also the price for commodities that go up for them as well. Not like they get a special deal on the wood or lumber or whatever they're buying.
Yeah, because they probably lost a lot of money, right, having to pay for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, they gotta fill the shelves, right? I mean, somebody's gotta put products out, and then if you're not moving your products, they still gotta pay the rent. They still have fixed costs, so their cost of goods sold went up. So it gets interesting when you look at the financial side of it.
Yo, shorty, look at BTU Peabody.
Oh, well, let me finish this one here. So this one here, I mean, it has a level right here that I would consider shorting if it decides to pop 340.
Especially if there's more shortages, it could have potential to retest that 220, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, why not? I I mean, think about this. This level, once it popped, let me go back to weekly. It was cleaner.
Because it hits 220, the market's gonna be pretty low, and then it'll probably end, and the market will probably rocket. Who knows?
So it has like the 240 level here. It has a 280. And then when I go on the weekly, I mean, it had some nice skinny bellies here. So let me remove this. Who cares how much it went up? Yeah, once it break 260, I mean, you really never retested this POC here after this massive run it had. Because you see when it did consolidate last time, if you guys look at it, it had a nice pattern here. I mean, this is a bull flag clear as day. It's actually like a picture perfect bull flag. And I know, I'm pretty sure me and Flip actually played this one, if I remember.
Which one?
I think we played this bull flag flip when it happened last year. I think we did. If I remember, I think.
Sure.
Huh?
This is HD, right? Oh, no, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we played this bull flag on it.
It was
It was
nice.
a good bull flag, right? But now I don't see the same sideways. I mean, it's just down. Like there's no consolidating anywhere. I mean, this was the POC at one point, guys. Like you see it. This was the key level for it, and it lost it. Like, so if I just spread this all the way down, so this level was key here. Look, we broke it, we came back, we ran, and now it's below it.
Could you make an argument that it's inverse head and shoulder there?
Let me go back. Where? Here?
Yeah, on that weekly time frame.
I'll make a better argument. I'll say that it's going to make a right shoulder here, and this is a head and shoulders.
Did it not say head and shoulder?
You said inverse head and shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, it's a deadly level that it's on right now. Yes, it has potential to go, but you guys remember when we played Amazon? When I said that Amazon had weekly head and shoulders, and people were like, no, man, you're crazy. I think it was this line here. Yeah, it was this line here. It was something like this, where I don't know which exactly pattern it was where, but everybody was like, no way, man. And it hit literally to a penny. So I think HD is time to actually come back down a little bit. And this was a nice zone for consolidating here and sell-off that happened. And if you just pay attention to the volume, look, small sale, get out, push it a little bit higher, and look at this one. Oh, let me get out. Let me empty out everything. And then they're like, okay, get out, get out. And now somebody might be interested in buying, but I think the initial buyers of this, that got it in the hundreds, like with these big old candles here, and look at the buying here. So their average probably around 200. They're not going to be interested right now. I think they want to bring it back down. They don't want to increase their average. They want to lower their average. And then you have a nice, if you want to call this channel here. But you can play the bounce on this. I mean, definitely you can play a bounce, but just be careful. They could dump to this pretty quick too. What am I recording?
Would you mind checking out FISV?
V, is it like this?
Yeah.
Oh, Pfizer? Yeah. I know their previous CEO really well. I mean, yeah, looks good here. If we can break this level 104, I'd be interested. We should probably set some alerts on this one. This is a good setup. I don't know how their options are. They liquid?
I've never played them.
No.
I've never even looked into them. I just heard about this company today.
Oh, Pfizer is, yeah, they're a financial company. I know their CEO actually worked for him.
Wow.
So one of the two things can happen here. Who can give me the scenario? Can you envision any scenarios here, guys? Anyone?
Yeah, reject from the trend line and that falling wedge and then bounce.
I mean, this becomes a major level right here, 104-ish. So it's been running. I mean, obviously went below to 89, all the way to 104. So when you think about it, all the way from the bottom, that'll be about 16% run. Then if you do the fibs from this guy here to here, so it got over that level. And then from here, this guy. Come on. Yeah, it's kind of stuck right there now. I mean, it has a lot of VPOCs below. Like a shitload. Yeah, this is loaded. Every single one of these was a VPOC here. Then it has a VPOC here to the upper side. I'll call that one too. So I would say break at 105, you have potential to go a little bit up. You have a VPOC at 106. So maybe all the way pushed to about 110. There's a high chance, but it's been running a lot. So let's see, 1 hour. I've never played it though.
Have you ever heard of a stock purchase plan?
Yeah.
What is that?
Usually your companies will, if your company is public, they will give you the option of like coming into a company. Let's say they're like, hey, if you buy, it's called like ESSP. If you buy our stock, we'll give you 20% discount. And then some companies will do like quarter low. So let's say they give you a quarter low on Pfizer, Q1 quarter low was $86. They'll give you $86 purchase price, and they'll give you 20% on top of that as an employee to buy the stock. So 86 minus 20%, so you would get about what, $15.40 off of 86. So you pay $71 a share, even though the market value is at $86, or let's say it's at 95. When you basically buy it and execute the buy order, you get it for that 71. And if it's a 90, most people, like what I do in my company, is I usually take my 30% on the shares whenever they do that. I don't know if
Okay.
that makes
Right
sense.
on. Thank you.
Yeah, but if you have an ESPP in your company, you want to do that. I mean,
Okay, cool.
I'm not trying to give you financial advice, but that's not something that you should ignore. It's pretty good, especially if they're giving you like, certain percentages off.
I have a guy I've been working with. He's a real estate agent for EXP, and they actually they have shares and whatnot. He was telling me about it the other day.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not bad to actually look, if they're giving you certain discounts or whatnot to be part of it. I'm not so big on 401k. I don't know who knows the history of 401k, but it was not It was not intended for you to become wealthy. Okay,
Side note, did
well,
you hop on Zim for that dividend
no.
deadline? No.
What you can
Zim
ask the
looks
people
nice
right
though.
here. What did I tell you Zim is going to do, anyone?
You said it's gonna do exactly what it did, what we're sitting at right now, basically.
Yeah. I don't like it still.
It looks like it's gonna take off again.
Nah.
No?
What happened?
There's no way it takes off.
What? What are we looking at? Zim? Oh, bro, yes. Of course.
You'll have to come back to about $62 before it takes off.
62. Let's see, buddy. You're getting volume contraction on the daily, last 3 days. So it's gonna choose a direction up or down. So
Watch this now. They give you a good dividends, right?
yeah, it gives you 17.50.
Let me ask you this
17.
question.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's say you bought a dividend, you bought the stock at $75, right? Let's say you bought 100 shares. You bought it right here off of this double top break, which most people did here, right? Would you agree?
Yep. I did.
So $75, it went to 92, let's call it. So $15 gain. You got your dividends. When did you get it? You got your dividends $17 here. From 91, it dropped to 71.
It
So
literally dropped like $17.
you lost all the dividends.
Right.
You get the dividends on the April 4th, actually.
Oh, that's when it's the payout.
Yeah, that's the payout, April 4th. So that's why
So
it's
the
not.
lock period was March 21st.
Yes, sir. So it's just
Oh,
a
God.
bait and run.
Golly, they got people fucking suckered in. I told you that was going to happen too. They're going to suck people in. So basically, they're going 62. I guarantee you, there will be a 62, like right here. And not bad to buy there. But once you buy here, what do you think they're going to announce to their dividends?
I don't know.
Oh, they're going to say we don't have enough money to pay $17 of dividends anymore. And then what's going to happen to the stock?
Damn,
Gonna
that could
flush.
The typical Game Boys. Just they're going to do it again. Yeah. Look how far from anchored VWAP we are at 55. So even if we do a handoff, look where we are now. Yeah, I would definitely short this. Right below this VWAP. Below 68, I'll short it all the way at 62. So it's not bad entry to short it. Yeah, this would be a good short. This is a handoff VWAP. I mean, just a little different strategy you can use to find it. Speaking of Zoom, I always think of Zoom. Think about poor people that I just can't even imagine. People that bought it right here. That is bananas. You guys see where we hit? Right before takeoff. I don't know. Maybe there's a new Corona coming. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Facebook, is it below 217? Oh, what do you know? Facebook hit perfectly. Oh, this is from our, we charted this on our watch list last time. We had charted Facebook. So 221.68 is short. I don't have any new levels besides this VPOC here. probably a good level to get some short positions on it. I don't think I even have to tell you guys what I see. No, I mean, you can short it below 223, or if you want to short it below 221. And there's high chance we're going to this area right here. 218, 220-ish. I would say 218 most likely. All right, well, I don't know if anyone's got any other ones that we can look at.
Thank you, Shorty. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, well, we'll see you tomorrow. I'll most likely be live, and the futures are about to flip green.
Yeah, thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys, have a